So Fortune 500 companies, there's always the threat of being released, being fired, being cut if you don't perform, if you don't pull your weight, right? In a volunteer army, nobody can fire you. When you look at Jack Welch back in the day, this is a guy who really changed, the way entrepreneurs do business now, really changed the way capitalism looks today, and was the person who made, cutting off a staff of people because he was in the profit, but he didn't get the profits that he wanted, so he still went fired a lot of people so he can make his budget, right? Imagine that. You're in the profit as a company, but the profits wasn't as much as you want. So to make your profit margins, to make your budgets, you go and fire a lot of people, right? So you can make your budget. You go ruin a whole lot of lives, right? So you can make your budget. That's corporate America. That's what people, right, are so loyal to today. You got people who are out there who will spend every day of their life on their job as long as they know that they have a job to go to, as long as they think that they have a job to go to, right? That's where your loyalty is. And your loyalty, I'm not gonna, you're a grown man, grown woman. I can't tell you and won't tell you where your loyalty should be, but for me, it's to my kids. Okay? To me, it's to my wife. And for me, it's to each and every last one of you. So when you look at my loyalty, guys, it starts with the body of the business, and the body of the business is the people. Okay? When you look at the companies, if you look at companies that have their goals on the wall, it's like we're gonna hit our goals. This is our number. This is how many countries we're gonna go into. This is how many charities we're gonna give to. We're gonna take care of everybody, and then we're gonna take care of our people too. Of course, we're gonna take care of our people, and the people are last. Okay, so for me, it's like if we're going to build something special, okay, we as a company have to put the people first, but you as an individual who is a company within a company, you got to put your people first, okay? And you can't put your people first if you're committed to coming in last. Does that make sense to anybody? If that makes sense to you, drop a one in the chat for me. Because if you're failing on purpose, then your people will never be first. Your people will never be number one. Your people will never be a priority, right? Basically, all you did was sign somebody up. And so tonight's presentation and training, guys, is not about recruiting just to make money. It's not recruiting about, or just recruiting to build a business right now. This is, a mission. This is a vision for us to go out here and change people's lives all around the world. And oh, by the way, they get to make money. And as a byproduct of you blessing them, you make money too. Okay? So remember, regardless of what we talk about, there's always going to be some personal development involved. There's always going to be some philosophies involved. Okay. Not just about recruiting. It's about building people. It's like when I do my calls on Saturday mornings and I have a team, and my team know that, my definition of purpose is to impact the lives of 100 million children directly or indirectly by mentoring the people that they respect. So that's a goal. It's so big that I won't be around to see it happen. And my kids may not be around to see it happen, but my grandkids, at some point in time, they will see it happen because when I look at people like Jim Rome, I look at people, like Napoleon Hill, look at all these people who we still learn from, we still grow from every day. They haven't been here forever. Zig Ziglars of the world, they haven't been here forever, but people are still learning. They're still impacting people's lives. And so, for me, when you put your people first, as you'll never ever be last. And guess what? When you put your people first in a company and in your group will never be last, and the company will always be in business. When you put your goals first, what happens is that's a finite situation, which means that that goal has a termination date. When you hit that goal, it means things stop. But what happens is when you are putting yourself in a position where you're shooting for goals and you got everybody on a run and just to recruit, just to hit a goal, guys, what happens is you wear people out. Okay. You create tension, you create resentment, right? You put yourself in a position where people feel manipulated and feel used. And so what you want to do is you want to change that. You want to help people understand that if there is a mission, right? Help them understand what the mission is. Help them understand what the vision is, Because when you look at the six steps to six figures, there's a part of that training that says, what's your vision and what's the company's vision? So when people hear me talk about this company, they hear me talk about helping 10,000 families over the next 5 years make a $5,000 per month residual recurring income. That's a finite goal for 5 years, but it's the foundation for the infinite goal. The infinite goal is now I put people around the world globally in a position where they never have to worry about money again as long as they live, because they have 10,000 families that are walking, living, breathing billboards of proof and teachers, because they can now teach what they've done. So let's not be short-sighted and say that's he wants to do that because he wants to get to $250,000 a month. No, I want to do that because I want to have people all around the world be financially free. Period. And oh, by the way, I get to make $250,000 a month of residual income just by default. Okay. And so I want to make sure you guys, get this in your spirit. Make sure that you put yourself in a position where people always know that they matter. People do business with people who they like, they know, and that they trust. And if you put a person in a position where they think that all you care about with them is a dollar sign, um, they won't join you. If they do join you because the opportunity is so polarizing, but then they'll go work with somebody else because they don't want your spirit around them. I've been in that situation. Okay. So when it comes to the three R's of the system, I want to make sure you guys get this stuff down, and I want to make sure you guys get this in your spirit, because this is what I've made a fortune, doing. This is what I made millions of dollars doing in multiple situations. Okay. This stuff never changes. The platform does, but the system doesn't. The platform does, but the philosophies and the principles that govern wealth and wealth creation, they don't. Right. So when it comes to recruiting, basically, it's all about being committed to a process, trusting the process. Right. Now, when I say trusting the process, there's a story, guys. It was a 10-year-old boy from California. Some of y'all have heard the story, and he wanted to do judo. He wanted to do martial arts, and this kid lost his arm in a car accident, right? And his sensei taught him one move, right? Taught him multiple moves, but he taught him one move that he made him repeat over and over and over and over again. And he made him master it into nausea. And so he went from, human second nature, to human nature, where he had to think about it to where he didn't have to think about it at all. It was just reflexes when he did his moves. Okay. And when the kid was asking him, why am I only practicing this? I can do more. He said, "You'll see." Okay. And so when he got into the competition, okay, after all this practice, all this hard work, after all this dedication, after learning how to trust the process and learning how to trust his sensei, right, he won the match. Not only did he won the match, he won the next couple of matches, and then he ended up winning the gold, right? We ended up coming in first place, one arm. Okay. After it was all over with, he thought, well, he didn't know what was happening, but he asked the sensei, "Hey, look, so I appreciate what you did. I still don't understand what just happened. And, can you now enlighten me on what we did, how I was able to win this gold?" He said, "Well, the thing about it is I taught you this strategy because the only way a person can stop it is by grabbing your left arm, and you don't have one." Okay. And so that's the thing. And what everybody thought was the kid's weakness, and what he thought was his weakness, was his actual strong suit. Okay. And so for each and every last one of you, you have a weakness that you perceive, but the system and the process is your strong suit. Okay. That's your backup. That's your get out of jail free card. That's the thing. That's the thing that you can rely on. That's your center of gravity. That's your rock. That's your foundation. That's your everything. The system, save yourself time, energy, money, and stress. Systems always come through in the clutch. So trust the process. The first part of the process, the three R's, the first R of the three R's is recruiting. Okay. And when you look at recruiting, guys, it's all about mentality. Okay. It's all about mentality. It's you know, about you just going out there knowing that something has to get done and you not worrying about how to do it, but why to do it, and that you're committed to getting it done. That's the most important thing, guys. A lot of people who go out there and they do supernatural stuff, they can't explain to you, how they did it at some point in time, but they can explain why they did it, why they had to do it, why it had to get done, right? So when it comes to the fear, fear is one of the things that keep you from recruiting. And remember, fear is the number one single emotion that's attached to everything negative out there. Everything negative out there is fear based. Everything negative out there is fear centered. So feel the fear and do it anyway. Okay. Susan Jeffers, guys, she's an author. She had a book. It's one of the first books I read about fear. It says fear the fear and do it anyway. And that book, started to help me open up, and it started to help me realize that, you know, I'm dealing with fears that I created, and fears that I conditioned myself for, fears that I've actually become a slave to, right? And so I realized that if I actually created those fears, I can I can condition myself to make them go away. Because remember, I'm only born with the fear of falling, and fear of fall, loud noises, and the fear of abandonment. The fear of public speaking is something that I basically developed. So guess what? I get to undevelop it. So that's the thing you want to do. The best way to undevelop a fear is by taking action in the face of it. Think about it for a second. When you actually look at people who are courageous, you can't find a courageous person if fear isn't present. Courage is acting, and bravery is acting in the face of what? Fear. So when you see a lot of people out there hunting, when you see a lot of people out there grinding, you see a lot of people out there doing the things that you're not doing. The difference between you and them is not skill set, is that you succumb to fear and they didn't. They embrace their why and use it to fight their fear. You let your fear be bigger than your why, or you haven't found one. Okay. So when you look at recruiting, guys, that's where you start there. I'm saying you need a lot of reasons to start recruiting. Some of y'all been here 12 months, right? And you've been here 12 months, haven't got your four yet. You've been here 12 months, haven't got your the builder 500 yet. You've been here and you say you're builders. I'm talking about builders, not people who are solar people, not people who are water people. I'm talking about people who said, hey, look, you professed your love for executive 250, but you haven't got your four yet. It's because you don't even have four things you want to do it for. You don't have four reasons. You don't have one major why, right? You don't have the things like that you want to buy, things that you want to do, things that you need money to. And I say need money, I'm talking about money from here. Some of y'all make $100,000 a year, $250,000 a year, $500,000 a year doing what you do for a living. But we're talking about you having reasons for you to go out here and really build this thing, build this particular business to achieve. No dream building. My wife did a dream board exercise. They were doing a dream building and dream board exercise this weekend with the ladies in Houston, and I see Sabrina shaking her head. I saw some of the videos. Miss Ellen, was there. A couple other people that were there. Candy, Angel, all those guys, all those ladies was out there doing dream building, and some people think that's corny. Trust me, I was one of them. I thought it was. All right, that's because I didn't know any better. And when you don't know any better, you don't do any better. When you don't have any reasons why, you're not willing to die. Like for Reek, when I say, I have an affirmation video, guys, and this is an affirmation video. You can find it on YouTube. Sam Bean affirmations. But I got the idea from the magic of thinking big. Okay, on the magic of thinking big, I listened to the audio. He talked about a gentleman who recorded his voice, and he walked around listening to his voice every day, in the beginning of the day, in between deals, and at the end of the night before he went to sleep. So I created my own audio, created my own video with all the things that I wanted. The watches, the rings, the yachts, the houses, the vacations, whatever it was. And then I professed all the things I wanted my sons to be, my wife to have. And I'm telling y'all this because it's important. You thought it was going to be, hey, this is what you tell them when you want to recruit them. No, this is what you tell you when you want to recruit somebody. Okay. You worried about talking to the person outside of you when it's the person inside you need to have a conversation with. So, like right now, there are two conversations going on. Okay. Me talking to you and you talking to you. Some of y'all are real negative. Some of y'all right now saying, man, this dude don't know what he talking about. This ain't what I got into this business for. This ain't what I got in this company for. This ain't what I got on this call for. And some of y'all saying preach. Some of y'all saying he right. Some of y'all saying he convicted me. Some of y'all say, you know what? I'm liking what he's saying. And it don't matter. Conversations are going on right now as we speak. But listen to it. Listen to the dialogue you're having. Start there. Go out there and create a list because a lot of those things that I had on that video have been accomplished. And I stopped watching the video years ago. I did it 7, 8, 9 years ago, but I stopped watching the video maybe 3, 4 years ago. And I looked at the video again and I started listening to all the stuff that I was saying I wanted. A lot of that stuff has already appeared because I listened to it so much that it programmed my brain, the subconscious part of my brain. It went in there and it diluted a whole lot of the negative stuff, a whole lot of the self-doubt, a whole lot of the negative dialogue, the self-sabotaging dialogue, all the stuff that I normally have, those conversations I was born with, grew up around, all that. That affirmation video, again, it did something to me. And my brain, even when I stopped listening to it, my brain said, he doesn't have it now, but help him get it. Make sure he comes up with a plan. Make sure he abides by the laws. Make sure he reconditions himself. Make sure he comes up and your brain goes to work with your subconscious mind and the part of your brain that controls the organs in your body. Because most people don't know the organs of the body is controlled by the brain. The subconscious brain that controls the organs of your body, your breathing, right? Also controls what happens to you when you program it positively or negatively. It continues to program you, it continues to work for you or work against you when you are not thinking consciously. So, again, on a recruiting perspective, guys, know this. There are a lot of different things, a lot of different ways you can recruit, right? We have meetings we have presentations every Tuesday and Thursday night. And right now we're in discussions of probably adding another one or two, right? Because we want to give you guys more and more, opportunities to expose the business. Y'all, we have sizzle videos, we have presentation videos that are pre-recorded, we have videos inside the Facebook chats, right, that have already been archived and been done that you can tag people in to your favorite presenter. You can have people go back and watch Mr. Chris McHenry, Dr. Arlene, JC, or whoever you want them to watch, or whatever presentation you thought they did the best of, tag them in it, right? You have market meetings in California. You have market meetings in Houston from time to time. You're gonna start having market meetings all over the place that people can go to, right? You have a lot of different ways. You have Zoom. There are a lot of different ways for you to actually present the opportunity, expose the business to people. So you're not short of opportunities. You're short of courage. You're not short of opportunities, right? You're short of good habits. That's all. And so when you do that self-reflection, you figure that stuff out, everything else becomes easy, right? Everything else becomes easy. We're here to help you. 3 ways on lifelines. 3 ways, basically, again, we're here to validate everything that person just saw on those videos and everything you just told them as long as it was the truth, right? You have people standing in the gap, helping you help people come and make buying decisions and joining decisions, right? So let's make sure we get ourselves out of the way so we can get people into business. Now, when you look at the building aspect of it, right? And you look at, stories that are out there, like there's a book by Burke Hedges, and it's called The Parable of the Pipeline, right? It talks about how, you go out there and you can leverage, everything around you and everybody around you instead of doing it by yourself. Talked about learning systems and how to make things happen and get the job done a lot faster, a lot easier, a lot more systematic. Okay. While his counterpart was doing everything on his own, systemless, right? On the muscle, as they say, or on off the rip, right? And so you want to go out there and read things like that that help you understand. Easy reads, real simple. You can find it on YouTube again. Those are the things you want to read. Those are the things you want to look at, right? Okay. But when it comes to recruiting, guys, you want to make sure you learn a lot about the people who that you're going to recruit. If I'm calling somebody, guys, I might have a list of 500, 600 people, but if I'm calling people, I know something about the person before I even pick up the phone. I want to make sure that I know what industry this person is in. I want to make sure I know what a need possibly can be for this person. I want to know who's in their family, because there's a lot of different talking points, a lot of different ways that we can go once the conversation starts, right? And for me, I have a lot of conversations with the agenda of just having the conversation. When you go out here and you start having conversations, guys, you'll notice that, you know, when you have conversations every day, 10, 15, 20 conversations every day, and 4, 5, 6, 7 months, you're going to have conversations where you won't have to stop and think about a thing. It's just going to roll off your tongue. It's just going to come out smooth, and people are going to be looking at you like, did Emma just say that? Ooh, did Sabrina just say that? Ooh. And they're going to be looking at you like, did Obi just, whoa, Obi really, and they hear your evolution. They see your confidence and how you speak. They see how you flow. They see that swagger. They see that they see it. They can feel it. That energy is different, right? And that music is different. And now they start to believe you because they know that you believe you. It's okay. We're gonna stumble. You're gonna have to be real bad before you get real good. Okay, you just got to be willing to be bad long enough, right? And wrong long enough to get it right one day. Nobody spoke worse than me. I can just say, yeah, I was, when it came to articulating, enunciating, right, pronunciating, and everything else, I was the worst. Some of y'all say you still bad. I ain't as bad as I used to be, right? I promise you. Yeah, it was horrible. It was like a train wreck. That was one of the things when I felt inadequate, that negative fear-based emotion. When I felt inadequate, that was one of the things that kept me from opening up my mouth. And if I don't open up my mouth, I can't get better. I can't evolve. So I stopped caring about the end result and start caring about the action. That's the problem. Everybody you talk to, you scared you're gonna mess it up. So you don't do anything. You Everybody you talk to, the moment you open your mouth, you feel like I need to recruit this person. Instead of I just need to have this conversation and make a connection with this person. I need to ask some questions from this person. I need to get to know this person. I need to know what I can do to help this person by using this business as a vehicle. Let me just be me. And I'm gonna just tell you, the more and more you do that, the more and more pressure you take off yourself, the more and more conversations you have. And I'm gonna tell you, the more natural your conversations will be, and it'll be a really good situation for you because you'll start to see people join you. A lot of you guys, I'm just telling you, you're letting the fear wreck your lives. I don't have my agenda when I meet a person is not to recruit them. My agenda is to make a friend, right? My agenda is to get a person to know me. And like this weekend, I was in Denver. I think it was Saturday night. You know, I went to a cocktail lounge across the street from the hotel, and then it wasn't the vibe that I wanted. So they sent me the bouncer sent me around the corner to another one, and the other one had the general manager of the one I just left. He just took the day off. He basically he was off for the day. Me and him sat at the bar, had a good conversation, chatted it up, and I connected so well with him that everybody that was around us that met us and talked to us together thought that we've been knowing each other forever. It's like y'all couldn't have just met. Yeah, we just met. I know his first name, not his last name. I know where he works because he told me. But and I know what he likes when it comes to comedy. I know his favorite comedians is because we have the same favorite comedians, right? And so we connected. Therefore, now everybody around us connected with us. I ended up having 5 phone numbers from that interaction And I sat down with two ladies, who are who they work for a mom and pop owned flooring company on the next day on Sunday for lunch, right? And so now we're getting ready to put them in the business. I'm showing them how to actually go out there and expand their territory, expand their offerings, and go out there and add a huge, huge number to their bottom line without having to go out there and do a whole lot of anything except for believe in me first. But if I'm not there having a good time, I'm not there letting my hair down. If I and when the ladies telling me what they do and I'm asking these questions, and now I'm saying, you know what, we need to talk. But I'm not talking to here because I didn't come here to talk business. We can talk tomorrow at lunch. And the lady's like texting me, "Hey, are we still going to lunch? Are we still going to breakfast? What are we doing? I'm bringing my sister. I'm bringing, and yeah, we still going because I wasn't trying to recruit her. Some of y'all, you throw up on people, boom, right off the bat, boom. You give them a whole entire presentation right there on the spot. That's the worst way to recruit somebody. Because if that, like, say you recruit, let's say you recruit me and I'm a rookie, and Gabby recruits me on the spot because she tells me everything I need to know about her company, and I'm blown away. I'm one of one, and I come in business with Gabby. Now, when I see Jabari, I meet Jabari at the bookstore. He's standing in line, and he got one person in front of him. I started doing a presentation. Now he didn't pay for his stuff. He's trying to get away. I didn't pull him out the line. I'm holding him hostage. I'm still giving him a presentation because that's how I learned how to do the business. People do the business the way that you brought them in. People will recruit the way that you recruited them. So again, the art is in hiding the art, right? Some of the best paintings that are out there, most expensive, most valuable paintings out there, you can't tell the stroke where the strokes begin or where they end, right? So when I give a person the Sam Bean experience, they have no idea what happened to them until I teach them what I did to them. That's You got to be able to give them, the Carly Gwynn experience. You got to be able to give them the Idris Alaka experience. You got to be able to give them, the Matt Acosta experience, right? The Tony Dinner experience. Guys, I'm telling you, they should not know what happened to them until they end up on a training like this and they're being taught how to replicate what just happened. That is the art. And it's not manipulation. That's just who I am. But now I know what I'm doing, how to do it, and help a person in the process. Okay. So again, go out there and stop worrying about the technique, guys, and just really worry about making friends, making connections. Go out there, just and be prepared. Have those conversations when the person knows when the person asks you, right, what you do for a living. Have your verbal brochure. Some of y'all call it an elevator pitch, right? I call it my verbal brochure. I paint pictures with words. I let a person know exactly what I do for a living, right? And then I stop, right? And I turn it back to them. I ask them what they do for a living, and I start talking about them. I don't want to talk about me. I want them to talk about them so I can gather intel. That's how that works. You can't learn nothing from anybody doing all the talking, right? They learn something from you. You self-centered. You got an agenda. You showed up with a spear in your hand hunting, right? They can smell it on you, right? And so I even had a young lady tell me because when she basically said, so how we were talking about the process. She told me she was recruiting for a recruiter for a staffing agency, this that, another, and so she kept asking me the questions, right? I would answer a question, push her away, answer a question, turn around and talk, and I made her pursue me, right? I made her, hey, look, made her want and ask and demand more information, more information, more information, more information, to the point of where she started talking, turning around, telling her friends, "Hey, look, come listen." Right? That's what you want, guys. Okay. Like I said, we got the tools. Okay. But you just have to now go out there and be a professional. You got to go out there and be and when I say be a professional, carry yourself a certain way, communicate, with the value. Always find a way to make a person, know that they matter, right? And just give them the information that they need. At some point in time, also, you got to learn how to, guys. The other thing when it comes to you doing the presentations and not having other people do the presentations for you all the time, when you do the presentations, now you have wealth files that you created with information here. Okay. I got solar information in this file. I have, water information in this file. I got security information in this file. I have, you know, man, I got some really good stuff over here in the Smart Money Club file over here. Over here, I got some, and so now you're having isolated conversations. You can now just click on that file, open that file up, have a conversation with that individual about what's in that file and nothing else. Some of y'all think you got to do the whole entire presentation. You don't. First of all, you are the presentation. You are the presentation. So when you start talking, right, you're either recruiting or you're repelling. Think about that for a second. When you start talking, yeah, Gabby, shake your head. There you go. When you start talking, right, you're either recruiting or you're repelling. Okay, you're either bringing value or you begging. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you how it is from the mind of a person that you're prospecting. Because people who you're prospecting, they think you're prospecting them because you need them. If you can't provide value for them, you need them. If you can't figure out how to service that person, you're begging, and they're gonna run. Okay. So it's just be a professional. Okay, and stop being shy. Shy salespeople have skinny kids. All right. I know y'all heard that one before. Social media, AI. Y'all been hearing me talk about this on the presentations. I try to get this stuff in. It's in the presentations as much as possible because AI is the real deal, and a lot of people don't see what's coming from. As a matter of fact, a lot of people have their heads in the sand like ostriches, like they just don't want to see what's coming. Okay, just telling you, you have people who literally have graduated high school, went to college, and all of the information that they learned about the profession that they want to do now is obsolete. It don't mean a thing no more, right? You have people who own traditional companies out there, right? Who are 50 and 60 years old, 45 years old, own traditional businesses out there. And AI now, because somebody who has weaponized AI has learned how to take their clientele and make the money that they were making by extracting all their customers from their companies. And these people who've been in business forever don't know what to do. They're lost. So AI is something that you guys, I'm just don't go out there and buy everything AI. Okay. Do your research, do a little bit of studying, educate yourself, right? Because, hint, hint, we got some stuff coming. So, but you need to understand how powerful AI is so you can in return weaponize it and use it to build your business and learn how to mass recruit. Okay. Social media, guys, I'm gonna tell you, go put a clock on all your social media stuff, your Facebook stuff, your Instagram stuff. If you're not using it for business, say, look, 10 minutes a day. Since you're not disciplined enough to just not go there at all, if you go to your settings and put a time on it, it'll tell you on all your little video games, right? Put 0 minutes on some of them. That way you can't get on them at all, right? 15 minutes on some where you just gotta get your fix in, but put a clock on it. And when it tell you get off, get off. Okay. But use social media like the millionaires, the seven-figure earners that are out there, 18, 19-year-olds of the world who are making 6 and 7 figures on social media. Go do what they do. Be on it on purpose. Don't be distracted while you're on it. The second R, retain. These last ones are pretty easy. I'm just because right now when it comes to recruiting, that's the most important thing, guys. You got to recruit yourself first because before you recruit anybody else. And you got to recruit yourself every day. You got to wake up every day and recruit yourself. You got to sign yourself up again. You got to put yourself in a position where you're getting a $199 builder pack every day you wake up. Oh, and by the way, here's a recruiting nugget, a follow-up nugget for you guys. That 999 pack is a thing. It's coming. And you will not be able to upgrade to it unless you're on a 199. If you're 149 you decide to upgrade on, you're gonna pay the 650, 750, whatever the extra is. Yeah, 750. So make sure your people know that this month coming up, when they open, they change those packs and they want to get the value of the packs. If they're not on the 199 pack where they're gonna get grandfathered in, they're gonna pay the tab. Okay, that's just one of those things that help you either get the people motivated to come on in now, or get the people upgraded that are in right now. That's at the the A pack or the C pack, not the B pack, right? Just want to give y'all that nugget. I know Angel's got a lot of people converted already. She went back to all of her APAC people. Y'all know I don't say that word; it's a bad word. All them APAC people, all y'all nonprofit organization people. She went back to a lot of hers and told them, "Hey, look, you better go ahead and get the 199 now. You're gonna be paying 999 when this thing blow up and we have our travel and we got everything else we got coming." So that's a nugget. That's a hint. Your recruiting numbers and upgrade numbers should go up. You should be leveling up everybody right now. Okay, but number two, retention. First was recruit. This is retain. Retention. Okay. So when it comes to retention, the retention is the foundation of your subscription, guys. This is where the system really kicks in now. Remember, the first one was about you and the tools. This is about the system. This is about all the external forces that we put together on your behalf so you can win. So we talk about the platform. This is a part of the system. This is a part of the incubation, program, right? So you ever go to Popeyes chicken? I know a lot of y'all like Popeyes. So when you go to Popeyes, they don't fry the chicken and sell 100% of it right away. Whatever they don't sell, they keep up on the incubation lamp and they keep it there till somebody come through there and buy it or till they throw it out because it's too old. Okay. Now you had that going on in your group. And the people who are not in the incubation system, people who are not plugging into the Millionaire Mentorship calls, the Monday 10 o'clock a.m. calls, Pacific Standard call, when it's the solo training calls, the people who are not plugging into your leaders, personal private calls, any calls and every calls that we do, guys, is a part of the system. And that system keeps a person plugged in. It's kind of like for people who go to church on Sundays, some of them also go to church on Tuesday and Wednesdays. Some of them go to church on Thursdays. Usher board meeting, choir practice, Bible study. They get you to church every day. They keep you tied into the church, right? That's that retention, right? And they make sure that you go to church on nights that other churches have church on. We don't want you at their presentation. We don't want you getting no bright ideas. You know what I'm saying? Their conversation plan is the same. They all worshiping and going to the same place. We just in different buildings, different pastors. We need you here, sister. So we need y'all here, plugged into the system. So you can keep it hot. You can keep it excited. You can keep staying on the same track as all these people who want to go out there and make six figures, a month, six figures a year, 7 figures a year, 7 figures a month. When you plug into the system, you're talking to people like that every day. You're hearing from people like that every time. And these are people who have like minds. These are people who are inspiring you because they may be doing more than you. They may have started the same time as you, and they figured out why they're doing it and just took off. But you need to be plugged into the system so you can see this, so you can feel this, so you can be a part of this. When they have meetings like the meeting they just had in California, again, some of y'all were in California and didn't go to the meeting. When I came to California, I know there's hundreds of y'all there, but you were at home, right? And so I'm just telling you, when you plugged into the system, guys, great things happen. Remember, when you have a lamp and you want that light to come on, unplug that lamp and it will not light up because it's now disconnected from, the source. The energy the convention is coming. Talk to Mr. Navarro today. June or July is coming. That's a part of the system, right? You want to make sure you own that if you're at that event. Anything and everything, guys, that we have going on, any event that we have going on, if you qualify to be there, be there. Make sure. But the other thing is this: it's not just enough for you to be at those events, to be plugged into those systems. You have to get your team plugged into those systems as well. Because it's me, I'm gonna get the energy, right? I'm gonna get the training, I'm gonna take the notes, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna apply it, but it's just me. But what happens when I get my whole entire front line opportunity? And let's just say out of my whole entire front line, I got 10 people who go to and plug into the system every day. Now I got 10 people on my front line that's just as fired up as I am, if not more. They just as committed as I am, if not more. right? And they going out there and they running and gunning. And guess what? They might have 3 to 5 people each, you know, plugged in as well. And then they may have 3 to 5 each plugged in as well. Next thing you know, you have a whole entire legion of people plugged into the system, fired up, educated, impacted, listening to Danny Pesci on, on VT Lightspeed, right? Some of y'all, you say you're solo people, but you haven't did the 30-day course. The 30-day video series that Danny has, you haven't did it, right? And I'm gonna just say, some of y'all, you new to solar, you did the certification one time. Guys, just because you passed don't mean you shouldn't go back and listen to it. You don't mean that you shouldn't go back and study it, right? There are a lot of things that the company has got back there, guys, that when it comes to solar that you should go look and check into. But if you're not on the 199, that's not you can't get. I don't know if you can get back there. I wouldn't know. I've always been 199. I'm sorry. I couldn't tell you what everybody else, what kind of access everybody else got. I wouldn't qualify for that stuff. So, and I wouldn't sign up for it if I was y'all. But get back there. That information is back there. The people who are using it, the people who are like really repetitively and redundantly programming their brains, on those trainings, like Ignacio say, the VT trainings. If you guys, if you back there and you're using and treating those things like master classes, that's a part of the system. You can have educated conversations with people, even though you might not be a solar guy. Like me, I'm not a solar guy, but I know enough about solar to recruit with it, right? I know enough about solar to be dangerous. I know enough about the water to be dangerous, right? I know that I have the water and I did a video. I know I have the solar and I did a video. Ripple's on the way. I'm gonna do a video, right? And it's about me using what I have to recruit, right? But also using what the system has. And remember, the system, again, is here for you to leverage the 6 steps. And that's another thing about the system. The 6 steps to 6 figures, guys. When you actually have a person get started, that's really the first thing they listen to. If you're in a market meeting and you're at a big training or you're in a home training, something like that, after the presentation is over with, you got to sign up period, guys. Go ahead and put that 6 figures, 6 steps to 6 figures video on, or you do it with the flip chart yourself. There's no reason a person should see the presentation and not have seen that the 6 figures of success that they got started, or if they're in a big setting. Show them how they're going to make the money. Show them how they're going to get their money back, and how this thing is going to roll for them. Show them what we have to offer and how much support that they're going to have. What type of systems that we have, and there's just like empowering them and putting them in a position where they can move efficiently and effectively. That retention, people who plug into the system, they don't quit. People who plug into the system, they feel like they are a part of something special, right? People who are plugging into the system, they're getting value because they're increasing their intellectual capital. People who are plugging into the system, I'm telling you, plug into the system and continue to plug people into the system. Continue to text, people when his calls are on. Like if I'm on calls like this, I'm always texting all 100% all the way through the call. I'm not. It could be 5 minutes left. I'm still texting people. Where you at? You missing it? I don't care who's speaking. It's a millionaire mentorship call. You're not a millionaire. You should be on the call. Period. Right. And so retention. Retention starts from the system. The system does the heavy lifting. The system has the best presenters. The person who can promote the system and get a person to the actual system and let the system work for them, is a person who's going to have a really nice, solid, secure life. See, some of y'all stop promoting after you got a person into the business. No, you don't ever stop promoting, and until that person is now plugged into the system, and now that person is doing the same thing for their team. That's when you can move on from that person because that person's got it. That person, the system is now a part of their makeup, a part of their DNA, a part of their life. I don't have to ask Sabrina if she's ever going to be on any of the calls because she's always the first one on, right? Saturday morning. I never have to look for Carla Wynn. She's the very first person on the call on Saturday morning that I do, right? First person to give her reflections and raise her hand, right? And so It's just certain people they've already that's a part of their brand. Showing up is a part of their brand. You should want your people to see you there, right? You should want your people to see you always there plugged in, always there serving, always there being recognized. You want your people to see that because that's what you're teaching them by default. When you're not plugged in, you're teaching them how not to show up by default, right? So again, you're the one that's creating the cancer that they're perpetuating down into your group. If you made it okay for it to happen by doing it, don't get mad when they don't show up. You can't start promoting something that you have never ever endorsed. The last R, replicate. So you had recruit, retain, retention, right? And then you have replicate. So when you look at what are you replicating? You're replicating your habits, your philosophies, your behaviors, your actions, right? You, those are the things, the way you promote, the way you present, the way you prospect, the way you retail. You're actually the prototype that people are following, as they're building the business, right? And so if you have really, really good habits, you know, your group who are actually plugged in and they're following the system and following you, they're gonna have really, really good habits. If they're go-getters, they're out there grinding, getting it in, they're exposing the business all the time. You're going to get a higher ratio percentage of people in your group that are going to do exactly what you do. But if you're doing everything wrong, you're going to get an even higher percentage of people in your group that's going to do everything wrong because 80% of people in your group, they will do everything that you do wrong because it's easier to do that. It's easier to not show up. It's easier to not plug in. It's easier to not prospect. It's easier to not make phone calls. It's easier not to do everything that you're not supposed to do. It's easier. That's why so many people fail because everybody's following somebody that's following somebody that's following somebody that's doing the wrong thing. So when you're replicating, guys, you're promoting with your activity. You're serving, you're grinding. Like that's important for your behavior. The next thing is the leadership calls. Like, first of all, the Millionaire Mentorship is a leadership call that you don't have to qualify for. It's public, right? This is one of the best ways to replicate. This is where you get some really good philosophy, some really good foundational building, tutorials for entrepreneurship. Right, all right. Y'all enjoying yourself so far? You get some good stuff so far, right? So when you're on calls like this, that's important. This is where you start to replicate, but then you also get the hidden ranks and you start to get to build a 500, build a 1000, stuff like that. And now you get the private trainings. Okay. Now you get to, like, right now we're having a fly-in February 3rd through February 5th, California. Okay. And the people who are being flown in, again, we had a small number of people who went out here and did some things. We didn't want to make it a big to do, but we had some people who were just exceptional and went over and beyond the call of duty and certain markets and certain groups, and they're being flown into California on those dates, and they get a chance to see an instant pre-play of what's to come. They get a chance to get some direct insight and coaching as well, mentorship as well. They get a chance to get wined and dined, but the most important thing is the actual impact for one, earning the right to be there and being invited, but two, being around elite individuals who you can draw wisdom from and advice from, and that's also opportunities for you to be there taking pictures and videos just so you can use those pictures and videos to go back and promote to your team. So this is what happens when you do what I do. I want you to be in those rooms next time with me. All right. I want you to be in the Builder 500 training with me. I want you to be in the Builder 1000 group with me. I want to make sure you're at the leadership retreat. The leadership retreat, guys, when we talk about Builder 2000, when you want to be in that because that's going to be information and training. That's millionaire school. That's seven-figure school. You won't be able to get that here. This is millionaire mindset. That's millionaire school. That's seven-figure school. That's next level stuff. You can't train that stuff on here because people are not ready for that. So you got to go through some things. You got to recruit some people. You got to build some teams. You got to do some leadership stuff, create some leaders. And then we know for a fact you have a foundation that we can now build on top of at that event. That's why you do mass and permanent replication. And the higher up, the smaller the room gets, and the more valuable the information gets, the more valuable the access becomes. That replication thing, I'm telling you, whoo, some of y'all, you wouldn't go build a 500 in 30 days, 6 months, or 12 months. But once you get it, once you make the decision and you finally go build a 500, some of y'all gonna go build a 1,000 in the same month. Some of y'all are actually going to achieve two ranks in the same month because now you'll start to replicate the good habits and the habits that your leaders are showing you, right? You'll hit 1 and 2 ranks. Some of y'all will skip a rank in 1 month because the switch came on. So don't worry about what rank you didn't hit last month, okay? Or 6 months ago, or 12 months ago, right? Worry about making a decision today, starting over from scratch. Because when I was doing my own thing in that coffee company that I made millions of dollars in, I was at my wits end. I only joined the company because I'm like, you know what, I'll just take a position. If I decide to do it, I'll do it. And then I was like, you know what, I'm not going to even recruit. I'm just going to go ahead and not replicate. I'm gonna go over here and focus on fundraisers. I'm gonna do coffee fundraisers, right? You have people over here doing, the equivalent of showcases, right? They were doing home parties. We call them coffee and jazz mixers, right? They were doing that, and I had people calling me saying, "Hey, man, this person just went Sapphire, which is like, build a 1,000 to build a 2,000. This person over here went, Ruby, which is like build a 4,000. This person over here went Emerald, which is like build a 8,000. Bro, what you gonna do? You gonna go over here and do some showcases, right? Or you gonna do some fundraisers? What you gonna do? And so I threw all my fundraiser stuff away. Said, forget it, man. You know what? I didn't want to talk to nobody. I didn't want to recruit. But you know what I see is working for people, and they ain't no better than me anyway, right? I was the last person there. I was there for 6 months. Didn't go Sapphire, which is the equivalent again of Builder 2000. That's why I can mess with you because I was where you was at, right? So I'm just telling you, I'm no better than back in them days. Oh man, I was the same person. But the moment I flipped that switch, threw that stuff away, and went to rock and roll and went to replicating, went to doing those showcases, right? And that month I went Sapphire, let's say build a 2000. 60 days later, I went Ruby, which is build a 4,000 in this example. 90 days later, okay, in that company, I went it was Emerald, right, which is build a 8,000. Okay. 90 days. No, I take it back. 4 months later after that, I went diamond, which is kind of like elite um 15 or like elite 15 or elite 25 over here. So I was a sixth person in that little group. I'm sorry, I was the last person. I was the last person in that little group of people who came over. It was about 18 or 19 of them. And it took me 6 months to make a decision, not to go. That's what I want you to understand. It took me 6 months to make a decision to replicate. It took me 6 months to make a decision to go out there and follow the system, to plug in and do what they were doing, not what I wanted to do. Because I thought I'd talk to all my people saw me in all these other network marketing companies. They're not gonna believe me. I'm part of the NFL, no friends left, no family left, no funds left, and so ain't nobody gonna listen to me about this coffee thing. I done messed up all my resources. I made every excuse in the book and made no money making them. But it took me 6 months not to go Sapphire. It took me 6 months to make a decision. It took me 6 months to replicate. Some of y'all, 90 days, 6 months, 12 months, who cares? The day you make the decision, that month, you'll be building 500. That month or the next month, right? And then you'll have so much momentum and your people will see you running. And guess what? They're going to go build a 500 as well. And next thing you know, you got people who are going to push you to build a 1,000 because you're helping them go build a 500. Then they're going to push you to build a 2,000 because you're going to help them go to build a 1,000 and build a 500s, right? And that's how it's going to happen. but it won't happen without the three R's of the system, right? So I say that to say this: I was the sixth person in the entire company to get to that rank of diamond. The sixth after, like, it was so many people. First of all, it was already 8,000 people in the company before we even showed up. Let's get that straight. And it was 18 killers and beasts and animals that went over there with me, that went Sapphire, Ruby, Emerald, Diamond, Builder 2000, Builder 4000, Builder 8000, Executive 25 before me. But I hawked them all down. Not because I was better than they were, it's because I made a more quality decision than they did. And I was pissed off at myself because I cost myself all that time, all that money, and I let my people down because I had people in that company that were losing because I wasn't man enough, to go out there and be the leader that they needed me to be. So I'm just telling you right now, you got people who are in your group right now who need you. And I'm gonna just say, some of y'all scared to ask for help. It's okay. You're not a professional recruiter. We get it. You're not a professional salesperson. We get it. You're not a professional network marketer, MLM, high ticket salesperson. We get it. Okay. Ask for help. Make a decision. Make it happen. Make the changes and make history. If a person wasn't on here tonight, that's their fault. That person is probably not going to be the person that's going to be with you when you go build a 500. So tell them about the call and the system and everything. They need to come back and watch this thing because you care about them, not because you need them. Let them know what you're about to do. Make your declarations, make your and cite your affirmations. Go make your audio, a video, or audio for your affirmations, and listen to yourself. Tell yourself the truth instead of telling yourself them lies that you ain't good enough, that you fearful, that you can't recruit, you don't know nobody, you don't dress good, you don't talk good, all this old negative stuff that you telling yourself. Go make an affirmation with all the new truths and listen to yourself tell the truth over and 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 over. I'm telling you, some of y'all have millionaires locked under this, trapped under rubble, right? Every time you listen to yourself on one of those audios, every time you say your affirmations, every time you say your declarations, every time you get up in the morning and read your goals and then go to sleep after you read your goals, you remove rubble and you start to see the light. Telling you. And the more and more you see it, the more and more light you see. The next thing you know, all the rubble is gone. And all you see is who you was born to be. You just trapped right now. All right, that's all it is. So let's go out here and take our life and our future in our own hands. Let's go out here and do these three R's. Let's go out here and put some people in position that they'll never have to worry about money again as long as they live. And that and they get a chance to live a life they want to live because you made the decision that they've been waiting on you to make for the longest. It's taking you too long. All right. So Winston Navarro needs you. JC Rangel needs you. The Pacheco's, they need you. I need you. We can't do this on our own. We can't do this on our own. We can't do this by ourselves. We need your help. And we want to do this with you, not without you. It's not going to be the same when we get to where we're already going if you're not there. All right. So let's start now so you can be on the other side of them ropes at conventions, sitting at those tables instead of sitting on the other side saying, man, it took me too long to make a decision that I could have made when they said make it. Love y'all. And ain't nothing y'all can do about it. Right? See y'all guys at the top. See y'all guys at the bank. See y'all guys at the beach. And I'll see y'all guys tomorrow night at 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we'll be on it working for you, making sure the system works in your favor, doing that doing the call tomorrow night for y'all on y'all behalf. So um, text your text the people who are your leaders, your superiors, your upline, your senior partners, whatever you call them. Text them and let them know that you were present and accounted for tonight, and and they can count on you going forward. All right. So take care, guys. Talk to you guys soon. Good night.
Recording